All right, let's go ahead and get started with our study guide for Chapter 1. The first thing that I'm going to be doing on problem number 1 is it says, what is the first step? Well, I want to get that x by itself, so I would actually subtract 9. And if I wanted to finish it, I would get negative 37. But I look at that question, and it asks, what is the first step? Well, the first step is subtract 9 from both sides of the equal sign. Okay, so that's what I did. All right, number 2, we need to justify each problem. So what I did from going from this step to this step is I combined like terms. Negative 3x minus 7x gives me that 10x. So first thing I'm going to do, combine like terms. And I would actually try and probably shift these down to show that you're kind of doing it from step 1 to here. The second thing that I'm doing, going from here to here, is I subtracted 12. That needs to be done on both sides of the equal sign. So what I did there, minus 12, both sides of equal sign. And then the last thing that I'm going to be doing is I want to get that answer, so I need to divide by negative 10. I'd get x equals 1. So the last thing I did, divide both sides by negative 10. So on this one, it's more about documenting your thinking than anything else. And then it asked, what is my solution? My solution is 1. And we could always go back, put it in, and check it. On number 4, we have to find the value of that variable. Well, I'm going to take 3x plus 6x plus 90, and they tell us that the sum is 180. You combine that, and you're going to get 9x plus 90 equals 180. Subtract 90. Let's get rid of that writing right there. And when I subtract that 90, I'm going to get 9x equals 90. Divide by 9. X is 10. So the value of x is 10. Well, we want to find the value of these angles. So that's going to be 3 times 10, which is 30. That's going to be 6 times 10, which is 60. So the value of the larger angle is going to be 60 degrees. The value of the smaller angle is 30 degrees. All right, we want to write and solve an equation that can use to represent the perimeter. Well, perimeter is the length around. You add all your sides. And the width is x minus 4. And the length is twice the width. So you take 2 and you multiply that by x minus 4. Oh, I've got parentheses, so I'm going to use the distributive property. Oops, didn't mean to bring up the date there. And I'm going to write that in red. That's actually going to be 2x minus 8. And the same thing over on this side, 2x minus 8. Then I'm going to add up all of my sides. X minus 4 plus 2x minus 8 plus x minus 4 plus my last side, 2x minus 8. And that is going to give me 66. Combine your like terms, x plus 2x plus x plus 2x is going to give me 6x. Negative 4 minus 8 minus 4 minus 8 is negative 24. So suddenly it's looking a lot better. I'm going to then add 24 to both sides. And when I do that, I'm going to get 6x equals 90. Running out of room, so 6x equals 90. Divide by 6. X is 15. Well, they're not asking for the value of x. They're asking for the width. Well, the width is x minus 4, so 15 minus 4, that's 11. Then that'll be twice that, so it should be 22, and we can double check that. 2 times 15 minus 8 does give me 22. All right, solve for the literal equation y. I want to get that y by itself. Start by subtracting 3x. And when you do that, you're going to get 2y equals 10 minus 3x. That y is still not by itself. You need to divide each term by 2. And that's going to give me y equals 5 minus 3 over 2 x. It's okay to have a fraction. All right. I'm going to get 6x plus 3, because I'm using the distributive property, minus 1 equals 2 plus 6x. Combine your like terms that are on the same side of the equal sign. 6x plus 2 equals 2 plus 6x. I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides because I want to get my variables on one side. And what happens are my x's cancel out. And I'm left with 2 equals 2. I can subtract 2 and get 0 equals 0, but that's still true. So this is infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many solutions. All right, number 10. You're going to have one like this on your test, and we've done a few of them for problem of the day. Input the variable y. So you just write y. Multiply y by 6. 6y. Now subtract 12 from the product. 6y minus 12. And you have to show each step. And then this solution is 48. 6y minus 12 equals 48. Then you want to solve it over here, because it says use this space to solve. We're going to start by adding 12 to both sides. and you get 6y equals 60. Divide by 6. Y is going to be 10. All right. Well, I see that I need to use a distributive property here. I'm going to have 9x plus 24 equals 9x minus 24. Subtract 9x from both sides, and I get 24 equals negative 24. It asks how many solutions are there? None. And how do I know? The variables canceled, and I was left with a false statement. 24 does not equal negative 24. All right, solve the absolute value. Well, before I solve it, I have to get the absolute value by itself. So I'm going to add 16. And when I do that, I get absolute value 2x minus 3 equals 15. All right, it's equal in a positive, so I'm in a good space. I need to make two equations. You write the first one down, just how it looks. 2x minus 3 equals 15. And then you have to do the negative. 2x minus 3 equals negative 15. Add 3 to both sides. Divide by 2. I got x equals 9 as one of my solutions. Do the same thing here. And I'm going to get negative 6. All right, on this one, number 16, I want to solve for y. So I need to subtract my x's, so minus ax, and I'm left with 6y. And those are not like terms, so you can't combine them. C minus ax. Divide everything by 6. Make that 6 look a little better. And I'm going to be left with y equals c over 6 minus ax over 6. Number 17, be careful of that because there's a negative sign in front there. So we have to get that absolute value completely by itself. So I'm going to divide by negative 1. And that's going to give me the absolute value of 4x equals positive 4. Set up your two equations because it's equal to a positive. 4x equals 4. 4x equals negative 4. And you're going to get two answers. The first one is 1. The second one is negative 1. All right. Looks like that problem got cut off just a little. Let me look at the actual study guide here. It says the simple interest formula is I equals P RT. And the part that got cut off was You deposited $4,200, so your P is 4,200. Account has accrued, and accrued means made. So the amount that you make is your interest made, which is going to be 600. And your interest is 4%. And you remember you have to make that a decimal, so 0.04. We are looking for time. So I'm going to go ahead and get that t by itself by dividing by p r. Those p's cancel. So I know that t equals I over PR. So 600 over 4,200 times 0.04. You have to simplify the denominator first. So use your calculator. 4,200 times 0.04 gives me 168. So that's going to be 600 over 168. And I'm going to round it to one decimal. 3.6 years. And I always like to ask myself, does that seem reasonable? And it does. All right, number 19. How do you know that this has no solution? There is no solution because when the absolute value is taken, the result cannot be negative. We have a negative 7, and that's not possible. All right, so number 20. Create a problem from the outline on the right and then solve it. So you can do anything you want to. You can put any numbers in here that you want. I'm going to put 2, 4, 6. You can put any number in there that you want, but the only thing is you have to solve it. So I'm going to add 4, and I get 2x equals 10. Divide by 2. X is 5. Again, yours might look different than mine. Those are just the numbers I picked. All right, I would suggest you go through this practice test a few times. The test is Friday. Good luck.